This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Too Old to Game. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. Today I'm joined by the Mark Weber.
What's up, Emmys?
Glad to have you back.
Yeah,
and the original man-child himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
We have an action-packed episode for you guys today. Thank God the time is here. It's the early access for Anthem. It's something that I've watched way too much of. I refuse to pay money to get early access for this version because it's EA, and we all know EA. But then we'll be covering a little bit of Days Gone and wrapping things up with Mortal Kombat 11, viewer request. Super excited, guys. And just before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. If you want to support us, you can go ahead and check us out on iTunes, rate our podcast, and give us 5 stars if you think we're worth it. If not, no big deal. I ain't judging. I just appreciate the love. That's all.
Dave, I ain't judging, but Ugly Day, he or she is our boy and girl because 5 stars.
Yeah, they couldn't take Ugly Dave because that was me.
Got
that self-deprecating humor, man. That's what it's all about. But boys, Anthem, the game that I've been overly excited for, rightfully, wrongfully so. Early access happened this past weekend, and we'll be getting another session of early access that will be more open for anyone who didn't pre-order the Super Happy Edition in, I think, a week. So they're really prepped. And just to give you guys some context, this early access build was a 6-week-old build. So devs had 6 weeks since this has come out to do work on the game. So it's a little unpolished. There's some things that aren't fantastic, and we'll get to those. But basically, I just want to give you guys the overview of what's gone down in this early access. Visually, there's some areas that are absolutely stunning. The graphics in this game are questionable, though, because what's weird about it is it's made for consoles, basically. From a controller standpoint, it is awful on mouse and keyboard, and everyone who's playing it on PC is actually using a keyboard or using a controller plugged in.
Like a USB mouse.
No, they're using the controller.
Oh, okay.
They plug in the controller to their computer because it's so horrible with a mouse and keyboard. So it's like a bad port, basically.
I said USB mouse.
You
I meant USB controller. That's what I meant.
It's all good.
Mouse controller, same thing.
Yeah. But graphically, it has been really shaky, actually. There's been a bunch of people have done different spec tests on this thing, trying to run it with different video cards, different settings, and the frame rate is absolutely off the charts, untouchable, because it's just like at some points it gets down to like 1520, looks terrible.
You're talking just on the PC side, or
I'm talking about.
The...
I'll start with PC and I'll work my way across. Okay. So on the PC side, you can see it go anywhere from 15 frame rate up to 40, up to a steady 60 as you tweak the settings. Basically, even with top-end graphics cards, certain areas look choppy and play choppy, which is a little disappointing for a game that we're expecting to, be one of the high-end polished games. But, again, you have to remind yourself, 6 weeks out. Not going to get too concerned. On PS4, it is looking like it's capped around 30 frames per second, which isn't great. If it was 60, it would look a lot smoother. And for a game like this, where you're flying around like freaking Iron Man, the combat's really intense. At times, it gets a little distracting. Xbox One X has actually been a little bit better. But still, it seems like in order to get the best version of the game, you're playing on a PC with a controller from a console because they optimized it to be there. It's a little bit of a mixed bag on my end. I think it's a missed opportunity. There's a lot of polish missing on this game. But the coolest things about this so far, the landscape is gorgeous in a lot of these areas that we're able to see. And one of the best things about it is the visual scale. Like, you're playing around as little Iron Man, and there's colossal mountains. Yeah. There's all this landscape that's giant, and you're just kind of navigating. Water in the game sucks. Just gonna let you guys know, flying through water sucks. It's
like you're trying to flying underwater.
Yeah. Because there's like caverns and stuff you go through. It's garbage. The controller is garbage, and that's why everybody has to use a controller anyway. But there's a lot of things as far as the flying and exploring is concerned. They obviously need to improve it, and they've said, thankfully the devs are really responsive on Reddit and Twitter, going back and forth with the community. But the game controller-wise, it needs a little bit of work. On the upside, this game looks like a ton of fun if you turn off screen shake. Those you don't know.
Like if it rattles.
Oh my God, it's the most disorienting thing in the world. When you watch this game get played.
Like if something big walks next to you, the screen will shake.
If you get shot at.
Okay.
Screen shake happens, and it's super disorienting. And when you try to turn it off, it doesn't let you sometimes.
Yeah. I mean...
some minor visual bugs like that. I was watching earlier. One of the guy's left arms got stuck in his body. Cool. So he looked like he had a hand dick, which was just really weird. Pretty inappropriate.
I don't know. I think that's all right. I don't see a problem with that personally.
For me, though, the thing that I have, because, I mean, one of the things, and this could be similar to what you mentioned with the 6-week-old build.
Yes.
Is one of the guys I watch on YouTube, Force Gaming. He mentioned how he's like, I guess EA, him and a bunch of other influencers, they flew him down to make him, and he was like, we're game changer, EA game changer.
Yeah, where was our invite?
Yeah, seriously.
But the thing that he said that I thought was funny was he goes, first off, there's one part of the game they just wouldn't let us talk about, and he flashed on the screen, endgame.
Yeah.
Because it's vastly, he's like, because there's a big part, endgame, that they didn't want us to talk about, but like the thing he mentioned, and this didn't, like, it hasn't turned me off, but has dampered my excitement for it, was he goes, I'm going to be excited for this because he's like, I love loot games. And he took us through everything, where it's like, if you liked World of Warcraft, if you liked Elder Scrolls, if you like Diablo,
I mean,
you're probably gonna like Anthem.
It's a pretty standard looter shooter, like, and that's it is in the Borderlands vein.
Where I'm sitting there going, okay, now that I know that coming in, I'm gonna put a lot of weight on that story. If this story doesn't blow me away, kind of like how, I mean, with Borderlands, I like the story, but it didn't have enough to, like, the end game in Borderlands didn't have enough to bring me back. Where in Destiny, where the story, I'm going to say, was shite because I didn't get the full story right away. I had to beat it, like, very quickly, and then, where's the rest of the story? Oh, that's coming in a DLC. Yeah, I probably will not be around for that. And then I was not. I'm going to put more weight on this story. This story then needs to blow me away.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's because I'm so used to looter shooters and loot games where the only game I have played where I could not care about, like, I didn't need anything from the lore, although a lot was there, was WoW. Yeah. However, look at the community base within WoW. I didn't need the story to carry things because I had so many buddies, so many community members that were in that. So because I don't think it's going to be like that, what's the story going to be like, and is that going to entice me in this game?
Yeah, there's supposed to be quite a bit of effort put into the story mode in this game.
It is BioWare. They're known for their storytelling.
Yeah.
I think that when I hear about the issues they have, when I hear about the bugs and stuff like that,
like and the frame rate stuff,
frame rate enemies disappearing.
I mean, they have a lot of login issues. They have a ton of issues.
Loading screens murder people in this game.
Remember, BioWare is one of those companies, too, that's kind of known for having bugs in their games.
Yeah.
But my thought is just, I don't understand, and I hate to say this, Dave, so brace yourself. I don't understand the hype for this game at all. I do not understand it because we were all burned by Destiny 1. We were all burned by The Division. We were all burned by Destiny 2. Anthem is not going to be any different. It's going to be the exact same thing. The first 2 months of it are going to suck, because it's not going to have the full content. It's going to have issues with logging in because there's going to be too many people trying to play it, as MMOs always have issues. It's just another one of these, hey, we can get a shit ton of money out of this, because these games are just basically ways to make money. And honestly, at this point, I don't feel I have a problem saying it, but it just kind of feels like a lazy cash grab. Because they all do it, and they all don't even release full content. They then throw in some DLC at you, and they go for the loot boxes and let you pay for all the cosmetic things and whatever you want. It's just a way where you can milk a shit ton of money out of the consumer, and people are still pre-ordering it. And people are still excited about it. And I sit there, and I'm just like, I don't get why. These companies have all shown you they shouldn't be trusted with this style of game. They're not doing the customers any service, our gaming is going to be freaking the fuck out when this comes out. Kotaku, YouTube, whatever place you like to hang out for your gaming news, they're all going to be freaking out when this game comes out because there's going to be a shit ton of issues. We all know what's going to happen. It's not going to be surprising when it happens, but we're all going to act surprised.
Absolutely.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, these type of games have burned us so many times to where, I'm not saying you shouldn't play it. If you are excited about it, go ahead and play it. But maybe more people need to sit back and let the
don't be the guinea
flame.
pig.
Yeah, it's like when we can say this because it's January now. You get your gym membership on January 1st or January 2nd.
Yeah.
You go for 3 weeks and then you're done. That's what this should be. Wait the 3 weeks out and then go, because then there's less people on those treadmills and you can actually get on one.
For my audio listeners, I looked at my gut and there's no gym membership here, Mark.
That's all right. That's all right.
There's no illusion
I'm not gonna go.
At least you're not spending $20 a month to go, oh yeah, I should probably go to the gym.
I don't know. I think Planet Fitness, no sponsor, is like $10, right? That's pretty cheap, right?
It's not
still
expensive. You just gotta
$10.
actually show up.
Yeah, it's
the hardest part.
It's
is showing
cheap
up.
when you show up.
I can use that $10 though to also get
you get a lot of shit at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. I was gonna say Portillo's.
Hot dog okay, I feel like hot dog at Taco
No,
Bell.
at Portillo's. So that's what I was gonna throw. I could get Portillo's instead of giving it to a gym.
But yeah, Mark, I see your point, and I don't disagree. It's one of those things where I've heard actually a lot of the guys streaming this game say it is, this feels like a game that needs another 6 months in dev, and then we'd get a great product. And it's the concern of how ready will this game be on release, and in the same vein,
history would say not very.
And that's the thing is
it going to be like No Man's Sky?
I think it's going to be like No Man's Sky.
I doubt it would be No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky was especially terrible.
That's its own.
But I mean,
category.
But I'm
thinking
saying
more
like
Sea of Thieves,
unplayable, and then like, it's playable.
No, it's
as
not.
It goes
it's
on.
not unplayable right now. That's the thing.
I think
it's
I would
playable.
compare it to Destiny.
I think Destiny, or in my vein, it's Sea of Thieves. It's a game where right now it's getting a lot of love because guess what? They've had almost almost a full year, 3/4 year, something
to
in that
work
range.
out bugs.
To not only work out bugs, but release additional content.
Yeah, you're basically
at this
financing them being able to
finish the game.
Yeah, exactly. You're giving them the money now to finish the game tomorrow.
And that's the thing is right now Sea of Thieves is wildly popular again because people are like, I remember I bought that game when it came out and like I ran out of stuff to do after a week because like it's very much a like I'm gonna play this with buddies and that makes the game better, more entertaining.
You only got 3 ships in your one server though.
Yeah, or 4 ships, but yeah.
4 ships.
But the thing is, now that there's additional content, the game's been built out a little bit more. Like it's back to being really popular again, which is awesome. That the game's getting that second win behind it because the devs did spend a lot of time building out a great game. It's just it was released for the cash grab. They had all the excitement, they had all the media around it, and it was like we're going live, and it was awesome for 2 weeks, and then it was like all right, I'm out of shit to do, and you have to engineer fun at that point, and it's just really hard. So I look at a game like Anthem where they're like Mark said, you're going to get most of a game. You're going to have these known bugs because it is being pushed on a fairly quick cycle at this point. Even though Anthem's been in dev for a long time, it still feels like there's a lot of work to do. But I think, Mark, honestly, it just looks fun and it looks fulfilling. I don't care.
And parts of it does, like some of the gameplay and stuff does look cool.
I'm watching the combat and it's a lot of fun because not only did they kind of go through and keep it a really nice pace, but the guns are fun, the ability to take it to the sky, and the extra mobility from being able to fly, float, kind of jump around, do some nice flippy shit. Like they've kind of taken, and I want to make a note of this, like I feel like they learned some lessons from other looter shooters like Warframe, like Destiny, and the fact that the pace of play is really quick. You can engage combat, disengage combat, use things as cover. It's a very fluid combat system, and you don't feel like you're locked into this is how we're doing this thing.
And here's I'm going to jump in, and this is a worry with that, though. And the combat could be anything, because I'm watching it right now, and it's pretty cool where, like, the guy I'm watching, he's jump up, shoot, but then drops down, and okay, I'm out of their line of sight. For me, and this goes for any of these games, you're being pulled in 2 different directions if you're the devs. Because there's going to be people that come in and go, I want a good story. I don't really care about playing with anyone else, although, cool, I get to play with other people. Then there's other people that come in and go, I just want to play with my friends. And for me, you have to have kind of a little bit of balance there because with many of these looter shooters and loot games, the things that I kind of go back to is like with Destiny, the story I was done like this, and then the end game wasn't really there.
Yep.
And plus the thing with Destiny 2 is they made their matchmaking so hard to where it's like, unless I had, okay, Mark, you're buying it, Dave, you're buying it, and we're going to play together, you really couldn't find, like, I actually had to go onto a forum on my computer, and I'm like, I'm doing it, and I'm like, what is this, like the early 2000s? Like, I got to go on the forums in order to find someone, then they didn't want to play with you because your light level wasn't high enough. And the thing that I want from this game is give me something to where the community is there and I can meet people in game and go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
But yet again, the couple games that I've been playing recently, and I know they're different than this, but like Red Dead.
You're playing all single player.
God of War. I know they're single player, but the thing you can take from those is give me a story where, yes, it doesn't have to be 60 hours like Red Dead Redemption was, but make the story feel substantial to where, yes, you want to get to the end game because it's a loot game, but make the story substantial. Don't make the story like, okay, I got to get through this to get to that.
See, I don't know if that's a thing in this genre. Like, the whole point of this game is to get max level, grind out Matt's gear and, things so you can do harder content, so you can get better gear, so you can do harder content, so you can get better gear, so you can do better content, so you can do better gear.
And that's the thing that I've been thinking is,
that's
like
the thing,
Mark was talking.
You just play through the game to get there.
It then just becomes repetitive like everything else. And
that's like, the genre.
And I get that's the genre, but it's like also within every genre, the thing that's going to make Anthem good and going to make it stand out is what's going to be that one thing to be like, this makes it stand out above the rest.
It's customized. It's customization. Where Destiny forced you into, very tight build paths. What's really nice about Anthem is there is a whole lot of build diversity. There's a lot of ways that you can change up your build. I don't think that we're going to have the archetype builds that we had for Destiny where it was like, you have this path to this one and that's it, and you're going to play the exact same way and it has very little impact on your gameplay. Whereas in Anthem right now, because you have, right now 4 different javelins, which are the mechs, if you want to whatever term them, and each one of them, based off of the drops you get, different weapons, different modifiers for that gear, can change the way you play pretty dramatically. So I think that the one thing that I've heard, or the one thing that I've seen and heard spoken really highly of, is the customization of gameplay is really high, where in former games like Division, like Destiny, we didn't have that. And even Diablo at the end became very much, if you want to succeed, you have to do this. At the upper echelons of when you're running, 110s, you just don't have the option because nothing else will get the job done. You have to have this gear and you have to do it this way and you have to do things this way.
Yeah.
Anthem right now, I get its early game on this demo, but we're seeing so much diversity in build and so many different ways that you can kind of address situations that I think that that's going to be what kind of makes it different. I think that's one of the strongest points it has going for it. I've heard good things about the story, though. Like, I'm just discounting the fact that I don't expect the story to be great, but I've heard good things. I've heard it's supposed to be, like, they've spent a lot of time and effort on creating a lore behind this, on actually generating, a substantial amount of playing time towards it. I'm just going in with the expectation of, I played through Diablo storyline once, and then every other character I've never given a shit about. Like, I'm playing the game. And I think that's going to be very similar for Anthem. But with that being said, the combat system, I don't know if you've seen any examples of combos going off in there.
No, I have. I've just seen the basic kind of
combat. They're visually awesome. Like, visually awesome. There's one of the javelins has basically the ability to become Thor for, a smidge of a second. Cool. Basically where if you used one attack and then you combo it with a secondary one, it would just thunderbolt down from the sky. Like, there's enough of that, like, I forget what they call the overwhelming amount of graphics on the screen at once. It's like fireworks or something like that. But, like, visually, it's super appealing in combat and even a little bit overwhelming at times, which I think is kind of fun. It adds to the craziness of the fights. I was watching some guys do speed runs earlier on one of the bosses in this game in the early access, and they were even saying, like, dude, I can't see anything when you're doing that. But, because they have so many different abilities, because there's different javelins and different setups for each one. Like, I think that's really what's going to be able to drive this and keep it super entertaining for you long term, because say you play through it as the Storm one, and then you want to switch over and play through as a tank. Like, the tank guy has a flamethrower, he's got a different kit, he's got different mobility. So I think it offers a unique experience, and it kind of makes the gameplay just completely separate itself out from other similar games.
Because, I mean, they have to, like Ricky was saying, what's the thing that makes this stand out? They have to do something better.
Yep.
And in this case, it's like you're saying, the customization, it's the combat. They have to be better at that, because the story's not going to matter. I mean, when you look at MMOs and you talk about story, Knights, or not Knights of the Old Republic, the Old Republic, Star Wars, the Star Wars MMO, had an awesome story. If that was a single-player game for all those different versions, it would have been an awesome game. But it was just kind of a lackluster MMO. And that story that was good and, you know, fully voiced and everything like that, it didn't matter. That didn't sell copies. Well, and the fact that it had bad... Well, I shouldn't say bad. It was just very average MMO type of fighting and everything like that. That didn't make people want to stick around. So for this, they have to have that. The story, sure, it's going to sell people you or me.
Like, I'm thinking like Destiny and Borderlands were like...
Destiny
Borderlands
had about, what, 9 hours of playthrough?
And Destiny's was like their biggest problem was like, hey, you'll get the rest in a DLC. But like Borderlands, I like that story. I'll be completely honest. I played Borderlands completely by myself.
That's not an MMO, though.
But it was in that same, like, I'm talking like looter shooter, not necessarily
I get what
MMO.
you're saying,
They're
but
combining those.
I would say they're two different things, though. The things you would expect out of a Borderlands game are not the same things you'd expect out of Destiny. Because they're just different styles of games.
I think there's a lot of similarity in my mind.
There's similarity in the looter
Anthem,
shooter
you're still
part.
stuck in a four-man squad, similar to Destiny, similar to Borderlands.
Yeah.
It's still very gear-based. But
I just think you have one that's purposefully a single
Borderlands
player,
was
knowing that it needs to have a story because it's a single player game.
Yes.
And then another one that knows that it's just you and your friends are going to play together after work and hang out.
Exactly. And that's where it's totally different.
And the other thing that I have seen that will be interesting too is like the tier of enemies where it's like, yes, the lower enemies might be easier, but there were some, even like the mini bosses were like, okay, it took a little bit of
some
strategy to take it down to where that is another thing on top of it, to where like with Destiny, I felt like it was, all right, let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're through. The last boss was kind of difficult, but not really once we hit a certain light level.
Basically felt the same, right?
Basically.
Like it was indistinguishable. And I think that's one of the problems.
And it was just like, all right, I have to do this, to do this, to do that. Where it's like I go back to WoW, where it was like I could do any different fight over and over. And maybe the javelins kind of compared to that where, okay, I come in as a healer. Now I come in as a DPS. Now I come as a tank.
Yep.
You can do fights in different areas. But also if I did it on my paladin, like DPS paladin, I never felt like, okay, Gruul's Lair, this is going to be, the same old thing. It was like, okay, I got to focus on this because we want to win this battle. And it actually
it's adaptive.
Took some like brain power to try to get through that fight.
Yeah, no, I would completely agree. The one fun thing about this as well is every time you set out, you can choose your difficulty level. And that scales gear as well. So it scales enemy difficulty and your gear rewards. So I think that's something that will continue to make the game attractive to a lot of people is, and I know we joked about this way back about like, if your game has multiple difficulty levels, does that mean you just didn't scale it right? and I think in this case, it's adding longevity to the game. Whereas, say you go through and you do your playthrough and you're like, all right, I'm cruising through right now.
Well, it's like WoW with the heroics.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to that. But I mean, the difference is this has the open world where you can just go out and pick up missions on the go as you're flying through a map, which is, Destiny-esque. But again, you can set that difficulty higher when you first launch. So you choose your difficulty, you get your rewards. The next thing is the rewards have like an instant impact. The one thing that I wish you could do would be to be able to gear swap on the go.
Not having to go back to the main base.
Yeah, but that is one of the things in this game where you have to go back to the base. You have to set up your javelin with your new equipment. but the new equipment feels impactful, and it does. Like it story, or I guess like logically it wouldn't make sense if you could do it on the fly, but the nice thing is that new gear, like every time you get a new piece of gear, there's a level of excitement to it. There's like, this does this now, and if I pick this one plus this one, it combos off and it can do this. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And I think the one cool thing about group play is that you could have a different loadout for group play than you would for single player. I know, Rick, you mentioned, is this a game I can play single versus group? I would say yes, but it's going to be more enjoyable. It's going to be more difficult to play single, but it's going to be more enjoyable to play as a group because you can combo yourselves together. Yeah,
like that's how I want to play. I'm not expecting this to be, I get to play by myself, but that's another thing with these. Like, for example, I'm going to bring it back to WoW, because that's the best one I've ever played in my life, where, Dave's not on, I can still do quests and gear up by myself. Like, and that's another thing, matchmaking, where I'm bringing in Destiny again. Destiny to me would have been a better, I might have been able to get over the story part and not getting a full story from the beginning if the matchmaking was actually matchmaking to where I can go in and find people to do the raid that they have or the end game thing that they did, because I couldn't find anyone. It was like, okay, I'm not playing this game anymore. Yeah, because I can't do them by myself. They're way too hard.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there was an attempt at matchmaking in Destiny 2, but it was still you felt like you weren't connected with the group. And in this, I think you depend heavily on your teammates. So I think a lot of what I like about this is it's group gameplay, because you do play differently, and it's like, you're going with the loadout for this, and so let's grab 2 storms. We'll grab one, the tank, I can never remember its name, and one of the more assassin-esque one. And it's like, that's a good loadout for us for this mission because X, Y, Z. Make sure you grab the one that, the modifier. So it's like, if I shoot out this and you hit this, it'll freeze everybody in the area. Yeah. There is a decent amount of strategy to comboing things together in that game. So I think that's one of the biggest upsides for it is, depending on who you're playing with, you're going to get a different experience. Depending on which javelin you go with, different experience. Different difficulty level, different experience. And the one nice thing they took from Warframe is Fashion Frame. They're like, you want to customize your javelins? Have fun. Here's MS Paint, billion colors. Go ahead and pick out, what you want your guy to look like. They did say it's EA, so they're going to get your money. Of course. They did say they're going to get
red and blue. If you want green, you give us $10.
If you want sparkly green, that's $15. It is supposedly just cosmetics. There's nothing game altering.
No loot boxes here.
I don't know what matter of
the Anthem treasure chests.
It could be something.
It could be. I just think that it is going to happen in the game. The dungeons, as you said, they are pretty quick. Small instance together, sizing is good. I think it's, again, pace is the key in these games because you want to all right, let's go run this thing. Spend 15 minutes, do that, get back to town, check out your loot, and go, I got this. I want to go run something else. And I think it's something I watch people kind of get caught in a loop. Whereas I'm pretty much done. I want to go play Resident Evil 2, which just launched this weekend. And oh shit, I just got this thing. Let me load back up and see what this does. Let me see how that plays. So again, I'm gushing about this game because I want it to be good. I'm going in with the expectations, like Mark has stated already, as it's not going to be a perfect game on release. Yeah. It's going to be frustrating. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be a lot of issues. But at the same time, I still think it's going to be a game that I enjoy more than Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World was a great game.
Monster Hunter was its own bag of
I felt like I was trapped in the cycle and in the boss fight.
There was no real end game. You could go to fight monsters, and I know they had DLC for it, but after I finished the story, I was like, all right, why?
Which again, not a great story.
But it was a good story up until the end.
It really wasn't.
I didn't think it was horrible up until how it ended. Okay.
We'll agree to disagree.
The thing that, that's not the important part. The important part for me is there was no end game. Yeah. Where it was, I'm just hunting the same monsters, but why am I getting better gear? There's no reason.
The end game was to get better, to get cooler sets for your calico. Like if your cat didn't look like a baller ladybug,
it's like
you didn't beat the game.
It's like then what? But what? There's no like.
It was a challenge of going and pushing yourself harder and harder. And that's the same thing in Diablo. It's okay. You beat the tier 85 or something. Go ahead and try 90, or go ahead and try build your way up through that. And that's the thing is like.
But this didn't even have a tier. This just had go make yourself look cool.
Yep. And that's different.
I think that's what some people care about. I just want to look cool.
Honestly, yes. So I think that's where Anthem, and I've got a big section on my Endgame, the magical word, and Division didn't deliver. Division 2 will be coming out in the spring.
In these games, that is crucial. The end game is crucial.
Well, and that's a big thing. Speaking of exactly what you said, Division 2 coming out in the spring.
Yep.
You come out at the end of February. You've got March, April. That's about it. You have to be rocking it if you're not going to, because the same people that are playing this
March 15th.
are the same people that are going to play. Also, it's actually even sooner. I thought it was April.
I thought it was April
as
well.
It's the same people who are going to go play the Division.
Yeah.
So you got to really kill it.
You've literally got 3 weeks.
Yeah, in those 3 weeks, especially with that end game, because if your end game's not that great, you're not going to get them back.
I'm curious as to like how what right now we're capped at 15 in the early access. Like, what is the max level? How deep is it going to get? And I assume one of those DLCs is going to bump it once or twice.
For sure.
So it's like, how quickly can we get to the end game? Am I going to feel like I need a blitz story mode? And by the way, the javelins are locked right now as far as like you have to hit this level to get access to another javelin. I don't know if that's going to be the exact same way or not come release, but I would assume it's going to be halfway gated, where it's like you're stuck on the commando until you hit level, I think, 15. And then at that point, you can choose one of the other 3 if you want to change, which you don't have to. Like, there's nothing wrong with the initial one you get. Maybe they'll let you choose up front. I don't know. But I do question how much game can you get through in 3 weeks, and are we going to have something where, I'm still in love with this game when the Division 2 drops, because the Division 2's got my intrigue, but I don't want to touch it because of where the Division 1 ended. So I'm like, if I get burned by Anthem, I might start looking over that fence at the Division 2.
I mean, and really, you got to put it this way. I'm going to bring in the conversation that I know like Pete and I had on our wrestling podcast was, if you're Anthem, you don't even have to just worry about the Division. There are so many things pulling somebody's time every day. Even like you have to combat with sleep. Like I do have to sleep at some time.
I mean, WoW got rid of that problem for me.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can become an insomniac, but it's like there are several different things, especially for us now that we're adults and not
that we're too old
kids
to game
anymore.
Yeah,
there are several different things pulling our time away. Can you make it to where when I do get that free time, I'm gonna want to play your game? Not even just for the Division, just for like something else.
Yeah, for any game.
Whether it's going back, like for me, completing Red Dead is going to be on there, like getting the platinum, but it's not going to be something that takes up my entire time. Once Kingdom Hearts comes out, I'm going to put that down, and when I have open time, come back to it. Is your game going to be that one that I say, yeah, I want to play this end game, or is it going to be like, all right, I finished that, let me try to platinum this and go back
you're
to
a completionist. Like, I think you're in a small minority.
But even what I'm saying, like, that's one example. It could even be like, you know what? I could play that. I'm going to watch some Netflix. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you beat
There's a lot of other things going out there. I mean, you have the people who are more similar to me where it's like, I got about one day for about 4 hours. That's gaming
what
time.
Can get the most of your time in? Or most value for your time.
Exactly. And there's a investment into starting something new in that case. It's kind of a scary thing. You're like, do I really want to start something? Because I only got like this one small amount of time a week to really play. And there's plenty of things, what you're saying. There's plenty of things that are going to drive people away. So Anthem really does, they need to kill it, and they need to kill it right off the bat, because it's going to be unforgiving if they don't. If they have a bad release and then the Division 2 comes out and they, fix some things upon what they needed to fix from their first try, Anthem will lose really fast. These games can easily be forgotten about if they don't come out with success.
Yeah, it's funny though. I think back to all the complaining about Destiny and Destiny 2, and I still have friends who are absolutely hooked on Destiny 2. It's like, free time they got, they'll bitch about the game, but they're going to play it. And I think that Anthem's going to be the same way. It's a love it or hate it game.
There's going to be a fan base that just dives in.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you hate it, there's still going to be like rewarding gameplay from it. The one thing, Mark, you brought up, can I start something new? And I think that's where a game a lot of people want to market similar in Warframe. Like, it's just such a daunting task to get through the game because it's so big. As someone who like tried, I put in probably 30 or 40 hours into that game, and I still felt like I just, carved out a small hole out of the giant block that is Warframe. And I think it was too big to kind of feel like I was ever going to get to the end game, which didn't really exist anyway. So I was like, well, I mean, I'm having fun because the combat, like I went from Destiny 2 to Warframe, and that was, Warframe's up pace. I feel like my actions and my motions are really good.
Yeah.
It's got a great fluidity to it, and I feel like this game and Anthem is going to be that right middle ground of it's got the great quick action, it's got a different ability to take things to the skies, which changes the gameplay, which, again, the area of the fights taking place just is massive at that point.
Yeah.
And then it's not super daunting in the fact that you have to go through like miles and miles and miles of gameplay to get to, where everybody else is because it's a fresh start of a game.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm going in still hopefully positive. I'm a little pissed that the PC gameplay is so trash right now.
Because you're a PC master race.
I am, and it looks better on PC because you can max out the frame rate. You can actually go full on with the settings. Whereas on console, it's going to be locked down. And I think I might have to buy a PS4 Pro at some point, whether it's for Kingdom Hearts 3 or Anthem. So it's one of those frustrating things where I think it's going to be a meh on release critically,
meh.
But I think I'm going to love the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there going, yes, I have some things that like I'm worried about, but I am hoping for the best with this, and I'm not expecting it to be like a huge flop or anything.
Here's the important question I have. Dave's going to buy it. Ricky, are you going to buy this?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I am.
I'm surprised you're going to buy it.
The only thing that I'm debating is I know I'm going to buy it.
Are we going to try to get other Sean to buy it, or?
Well, that's the question. So Dave's talking about, not Sean Anderson, family friend Sean.
Yep.
He is actually neat. I have to get back to a text from him today. He asked, by the way, if you're not doing anything tonight, me and my girlfriend are going to be playing Diablo.
I love that this is being talked about on the podcast.
But like even that, where I'm like,
story.
Where I'm kind of like, I don't know if they'll be able to because like they're so into Diablo right now.
Yeah.
And is that going to pull them away? Where
I think it's in the same
where
vein.
They're kind of in the same boat that Mark's in. Except it'd be like if your wife gamed also.
I feel like
they got to play something together.
Exactly.
I feel like they were really into Monster Hunter World.
They were,
and then
they moved to Diablo.
I think this could pull them out of Diablo.
Maybe if you want to try to pull them in like he pulled you into Destiny 2.
That'd be some sweet revenge.
Because you pulled me into Destiny 2 and I hate you for it every single day.
Well, here's the thing.
Because I wasn't going to buy
How many
Destiny
hours did
2.
you play?
I was not going to. I went into that game.
That's my point.
I went into that game.
That's my point. Is like value out of the game, and like
I love how we both have that. That's my point.
I always joke about the amount of time for the dollar spent, and nothing will be World of Warcraft. Literally pennies on the hour.
Yes.
For me and Ricky. But in
I liked going back. The only reason I gave up that was because you quit.
I'm sorry.
Dave quit hardcore, and I was like, well, I guess I don't need this subscription anymore.
I ran into a brick wall, but World of Warcraft vanilla, we'll see.
I even played a little bit without you and met like other people, and then was like, you know what, Dave's not playing. I'm just going to cancel my subscription.
But I feel like that's the thing, though, that surprised me about the fact that you're going to buy this, because you get so mad about Destiny 2.
No.
Yeah. But it's the same basic thing.
But it's back to the original question. The thing I don't know with Anthem, I'm thinking I might not be the guinea pig.
You shouldn't. You should wait at least a week or two.
I might not buy it right away. I might wait a little bit and see what it's like.
I think the assumption is you're absolutely a guinea pig if you buy this game in its first month of release.
Exactly.
And
then the Division comes out.
I say the Division comes out, but I'm still more intrigued in the fantasy style of being Iron Man. in this world with crazy monsters and stuff going on, rather than the Division where it's a little more lifelike, a little more realistic.
Yeah, depends on what kind of style you like to play.
And I think that's me. I'm more of a fantasy person, and being Iron Man's fucking cool. And like the Division's not going to be able to top me. Yeah. For having jets and going up in the air and doing spins.
If they would let me reenact the scene from Gundam, where you open it up and you sit there and you press the button and it explodes.
My God.
Then I'd buy it. But if they're not going to let me reenact that scene, I'm not
sorry.
buying it.
Plus, the other thing is, you know, you get Kingdom Hearts on Tuesday.
Yep.
Am I going to beat Kingdom Hearts by the time Anthem comes out?
Because those are pretty, those are like
the
60-hour
February 22nd
campaigns, right?
Because I was very nervous.
I heard it's somewhere around 40.
Okay, a little shorter.
It might be a little shorter.
Because I was very nervous when I started.
Speed, I guess.
When I started Red Dead, I was very nervous. Like, am I going to have this done by Kingdom Hearts? And luckily, I finished the story.
There you go.
By the time, before Kingdom Hearts came out. But when you guys were like, yeah, the story's long, and then Dave said, yeah, chapter 6 is like forever. I'm like, oh no, I'm never gonna finish this game.
It is long. It is.
I didn't finish it, but they're saying, I didn't really try.
Kingdom Hearts 3, 80 hours of total content. Okay. You can play through the main campaign between 40 and 50 hours on average.
Yeah.
So, and that's I've watched about 20 hours of it. Don't ask where my days go, man. Don't ask. It's a little bit of a shame.
Dave just turns on Twitch.
I agree. I do. I do think it's funny that like it all comes down to, is the value for the dollar there for your hours played? And I think Anthem, go in knowing you're a guinea pig, go in knowing it's not going to be a perfect game, but the amount of customization and fun combat is going to set it apart in my mind. And I'm going to get it day one. I just am not sure if I want to get a PS4 Pro for it. So we'll see.
I love my PS4 Pro, Dave.
I know, but I don't have a 4K TV, so then I gotta buy.
You gotta buy a 4K
I don't have a
4K
4K TV, and
then you're not getting the full experience.
Exactly. It's just as beautiful, though. I'll get the 4K.
No, it's literally not just as beautiful.
It's less beautiful by a measurable amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can count the pixels.
I'm saying compared to my regular PlayStation, I like it better.
I'm sure you do.
I got you.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
It's also red.
But you need to invest in a nice 4K TV.
When I have the money, Mark, you want to buy it for me?
I already bought myself.
My tax. If we get tax returns, I'll have enough money to pay for that and a TV.
Maybe we will.
Like I say, if.
Well, maybe you got 3 weeks.
The government.
Let's make our time.
Government's open right now.
Right now. File now. You got 3 weeks. Let's get it done.
Exactly.
But let's move into our next topic. There are other topics today. I could keep going on Anthem, by the way.
How long are we at right now?
About 47 minutes.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good episode. Getting you money for it this episode.
I feel like this is one of those episodes that was very. I mean, we kind of walk into it knowing the main topic is going to be huge and the other two are smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
we don't have that much.
Nothing against Days Gone or
Mortal Kombat.
Or Mortal Kombat, but Anthem, open early, not open, but early access. It's kind of a big deal.
And this is one of Dave's top 5 games of the year.
It is.
It's Dave's bugaboo.
It's one of those horrible gaming addiction kind of games where I could just see days go away and just.
You're already scratching your arm.
I need it. But no, let's go into something a little bit different. Let's change a pace this into Days Gone. This game recently had a showing at PAX South about a week ago. I can't count days, so I'm going to say a week ago.
The 18th.
Call me on my bluff.
About 11 days ago.
So Days Gone is a zombie shooter game where basically it takes zombie survival to the next level, because guess what? There's hordes of zombies and there's an environment that you get to work through and kind of set up, a little bit of traps, a little bit of run throughs. You can basically make yourself a little maze. The AI behind the zombie horde's kind of fun because it does have very much a follow the leader kind of style where it just piles, and the sheer numbers fill up your screen. And as we were watching,
one that I was watching from IGN, they had it. The dev that was going through was like, "Oh yeah, this is like one of the smaller hordes, like 30," and I was like, wait, there's more than this? Like there are bigger hordes than what's going on." The one thing I do have to throw out is the next 2 games that we are talking about. Juan Rounds commented and asked if we could talk about it, so I wanted to give him a shout out. But yeah, this is a game where just hearing the name, I was like, probably won't buy it. Now, after watching that one video, I was like, all right, it's piqued my interest. And if I do buy it, it's going to be like an Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where, hey, you know what? I didn't expect to buy it. I didn't expect to have this on my list, but I'm going to go out and give it a try, and hopefully it knocks my socks off like Assassin's Creed Odyssey did.
Yeah. I feel like Days Gone A part of it feels like every other zombie game. And then you start to watch a little bit more, and it does give extra. It does kind of take that next step forward, which made me happy to see. Because when I was first watching some gameplay for it, it was like, this just feels like everything else, you know? I'm blanking on the name of it. It was a game I think I gave an honorable mention to that I was excited about. The one with all the parkour and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I know the game. I don't know what the title is.
I'm blanking on it, too. What was that? Dying Light. Yep, Dying Light 2. Is the one coming out. It feels a lot like that. It looks a lot like that. It looks a lot like, just take your pick for all the different ones that have come out. But they do take that step forward with the environment and getting that interaction and the choke points and the sheer number of some of these zombies. But what I worry about in this, because I'm always going to worry about something, is that going to get old fast? When it's just, I saw it on your gameplay, and I saw it on the gameplay I was watching, which was a different video, different person. And it was, okay, I got to go set some bombs up. All right, then I'm just going to go make some noise, get them all to follow me. I'm going to run in circles. I'm going to just go through all these checkpoints that I basically set up where I can have proximity mines to blow them up, or I can shoot the bomb, whatever it is. It just feels like it is a formula type of game of do your preparation, get them to follow you, slowly start picking them off. And it does look like fun, but it's just the kind of thing where I feel like it would be fun for me for an afternoon. I would love going over to a friend's house and playing this because they bought it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that I want to invest the money in it.
It's
myself.
a GameFly game. Is GameFly still a thing?
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
All right. I don't know where. I don't know that people rent games anymore. But yeah.
The thing that's gonna be interesting with it is, and this is one maybe where the conversation comes back even stronger. What's the story like for this one? And is it the same repetitive thing over and over where it's like, all right, I come to a new area. Oh, there's zombies. How do I kill them? And like the one thing you mentioned that might be the fun part about the game, and you mentioned it too, but Dave, while we were watching it, the kind of planning with the environment of, like you mentioned, like Walking Dead, where it was like early Walking Dead, where it's like, okay, let's see what the environment is, and try to get that to where you might have to kill a horde a lot of times throughout it, but the environments are different. You never have that same exact thing unless you're like, all right, I know it works. Put it on here, put it on there, put it there, and run past. Because the video that we watched, they ran past a proximity mine on a truck, and it was like, crap, they ran past it too fast. So I didn't get as many of them as I thought I would.
I think as long as the maps are diverse, like you said, as long as that's fine, I just don't want to replay the same thing. Like Mark said, basically you feel like you're on a track, just doing the same thing. I'm going to do this figure eight over here between all these obstacles, and I will thin them out as I go, and I'll get through it eventually, and it kind of would soak some of the fun out of it. But I think as long as there's enough building destruction or whatever environmental causes, that that's a diverse pool, and the layouts are a little bit different every time. And I think it'd be intriguing.
There's also the part too of, if you have the ability to destroy, how often are you getting fresh areas?
Yeah.
Because if you don't get fresh areas, you destroy that truck once and it's gone.
True.
And then you're kind of like, oh, well, there goes that gameplay mechanic. Like, it's gone now.
Yeah.
But going back to Dying Light, and I had a ton of fun with Dying Light, and one of the reasons I had so much fun with it was because of the parkour elements and how you could just go and be all over that environment, all over the world, and you're just kind of constantly climbing to get away and jumping around. And that was a lot of fun. This does look like it's going to have a lot of fun to it as well. So maybe that in itself is enough to keep you going. Because even though Dying Light is yet another game that I played for a long time, never finished, never really felt inspired to finish it, but I had a lot of fun while I was doing it, this might be the same thing where it's like, hey, you have a lot of fun playing it. But yeah, this one to me does feel very much like, I'll wait to buy it used at like a GameStop or something like that when it's like $20.
And that's the thing where it pulls out, oh, wow, that was unique. So what I'm watching here, and this is probably, I didn't expect this. So you're kind of like Dying Light too. You're going out and like searching. You got your motorbike. You're kind of like Daryl. And there's one kind of thing where he's trying to fish open a car trunk with his knife, and then when he opens it up, boom, zombie in his face, and boom, instant struggle.
Yeah,
where it's like, I was like, oh, didn't expect that in this game. And that's the thing that makes it, to me, how's the open worldness of this going to be? Where I'll be honest, I'll compare it to Red Dead because that's the last like open world one that I saw with all like the strangers that you can run into. Is that how it's going to be with these zombies? Where it's like, I'll be honest, in Red Dead, I did not want to be out at night. I did not
really?
I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see if anyone was going to come up and attack me. So I would sleep and I would like sleep till the morning.
But you were trying to play it from a good side as well, where I was just like, I'm gonna murder anything that walks because it's Western and I'm
I didn't murder. I only murdered the gangs. So like the Menfrin brothers.
Shoot first, ask questions never.
Yeah, don't bother.
Unless they shot at me.
Who's gonna come get you?
Now is John Marston at the end. I'm very different. I'm very different.
We'll come back to you and your Red Dead synopsis.
Oh, he's got a crossbow.
But yeah, no, I think the thing with this is it's not going to be an open world. You know, it's basically staged areas that you enter into a zone. So with that said,
I mean, it's kind of got a little. I'm looking right now at another video. It's got some open worldness to it, where he was on a bike, and he was driving through. But then when you get to these big areas and find the zombies, then it's like you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the thing. It's just as long as the storyline is enough to string me to go, why am I going in this direction? I'm cool with it. I think this is less of a game where I'm worried about, you know, if there's some story, great. I don't think this is a game where I'm like, I need there to be a great story behind this because let's be honest, it's just one of those kind of like games where I just want to ragdoll around a bunch of zombies and blow them up in different ways. Like that's the rewarding gameplay. I don't feel like I'm going to go through this and sorry, what's the game that you and Mark, both of you love? Great storyline.
Last of Us?
Last of Us, yeah. I don't expect a Last of Us.
Well,
you know.
And here's another aspect of it that I'm only seeing with this because I'm watching because earlier they released gameplay early on.
Right.
And it's not just going to be zombies apparently because like he's driving his motorcycle, all of a sudden sniper scope, you see the laser, shoots off his bike. Other NPCs, actual humans, attack you too. So I mean,
what's this parts of that to other zombie games too?
And that's the thing. It's the zombie genre. You're not shocked by that, but it's like it's done enough to pique my interest to where I might not get it release day, but I might check it out if like I have a lull and it's like, oh, I need a game to play.
It would be a game I would play if it was cheap. I mean, you know, it's kind of like a Dying Light type of thing, like we're saying. But I feel like this is Sony's, because it's their studio, with Sony and Bend, they're coming out with their version of State of Decay or Dead Rising. You know, those Xbox exclusive games, especially with Dead Rising, where it was like that first one where you're in the mall and there's just zombies everywhere. That's what this feels like to me with the hordes of zombies. It's just Sony taking their shot at it. They want an exclusive zombie game because people are always going to be into to zombies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting enough.
I'm going in with I'm intrigued, but I think I'm in the same category as you, Mark. I would rent this game or I would play it at a friend's house. I don't think it's a game that would get my interest for over 8 hours. I think I think I would lose interest too quickly. That's just, it's not a knock on the game. It's just the genre doesn't appeal to me so much.
I don't know. I'm liking it the more I watch. I gotta stop watching because I'm just gonna like I'm gonna talk myself into. All right, I'm getting it.
We may get a Ricky review at some point in the future.
It's got a while. It doesn't come out until like April. So.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna need something to pick my spirits up in April because Game of Thrones starts and Endgame is around. I might be very sad around that time.
Endgame.
A lot of death. Yeah, Avengers.
Yeah,
might have a lot of deaths.
You are kidding yourself if you think anybody's actually going to die in Endgame. I don't know,
we'll see.
With like the exception of like 1 or 2 people who the actors say, I'm done.
We'll see.
Contracts are up.
Same exact thing with Game of Thrones. I think we've gotten past the point where anybody we care about is dying.
No, you're just wrong, Mark. They murdered everybody.
They have forced Jon Snow, Arya, Sansa. They forced all the fucking Clegane brothers. They have forced these people to survive for 7 seasons. I don't think anybody would care about when they die.
Like, oh no.
They have been forced their way through. I still stand by the fact, and we won't go too much into Game of Thrones, but that every single one of these characters...
lit a fuse.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Every single one of these characters, you can see George R.R. Martin in every single one of them. Therefore, he's not going to kill himself. That's my point I make.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited for it, though.
I'm excited for it, too.
You know something else I'm excited for, though? Mortal Kombat 11.
Are you?
A little bit. I bought 10.
Mr. Non-fighting game over here, not excited for it.
Not at all.
I bought 10. I loved it. I just kind of ran into that wall where online gameplay, I was having a lot of issues with disconnects and people rage quitting mid-match.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, this is no longer super fun for me. On the upside, 11's coming out now, and it looks beautiful. Spectacular.
That probably won't
gameplay.
change your problem, though.
Not going to change my problem so much.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not a super big guy into like
Fighting
PvP online anyway. I did it because it was like, how good am I? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's measuring stick this. And that was cool. But at the same time, there was actually a story mode to Mortal Kombat 10, which was kind of fun. And they say in 11, they actually they're continuing on, and they're actually putting a lot of focus on making it a lot better.
God, it's been 4 years since 10 to 11. Damn.
Yeah. And so with that being said, Mark, the non-fighting game lover, I want to start with you. Okay. What are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 11? Because it's gory, it's visceral. There's just so much blood and gore to it.
I mean, it is what a Mortal Kombat game should be. Basically, it's just bloody. I love seeing how many times a character will get stabbed through the heart and then they're back still fighting. It's like, you are dead now. Why are you still fighting? But I mean, it is what a Mortal Kombat game is, and it looks pretty. For a gritty, gory type of game, like, it looks awesome visually. It's just the kind of thing where unless it's Super Smash Brothers and I'm playing it with a group of friends, I just don't care about fighting games. They're just not something that I have any interest in. But it looks cool. Like, I'm happy for people that want to play it because these 4 years they've spent it making this game look awesome. And I do think it's cool to have some story to it and things like that. That's good. You should do that. Give the game something else to have.
It was honestly a lot of fun to actually work through the story mode in Mortal Kombat 10, so I'm intrigued to see where they go.
Random question before I give you my thoughts.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Mortal Kombat game? Like, favorite one that you've played?
OG.
Really?
I'm going all the way back to Sega, yeah.
Okay. Because mine would be Deadly Alliance on the PS2.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's just something about that game where my favorite part had nothing to do with the fighting. It was unlocking the stuff in the crypt.
Oh, okay.
Where you'd go through
I remember
and
that,
try to find the combinations and you'd open the tomb.
Yeah, you're basically walking through a graveyard, which then led into other areas. It was kind of fun, yeah.
Like, I remember
that was
busting out that one and basically wearing that one to where the label was no longer there. But yeah, I mean, the thing that I like about this game is it's still NetherRealm doing it. So they did 10. They've also done the Injustice games as well. Injustice 1, Injustice 2, and now Mortal Kombat 11. The thing I liked from the release video that they showed, which isn't like, oh my God, I must buy it, but it's interesting, where it's like the developer said, or the founder, whatever, the guy talking at the event said, they usually have 1 meter at the bottom, and it's no matter what, you use up that meter for special moves. But now dividing it into, okay, your horizontal is your attack moves, your vertical is your defensive moves. And I sat there and I went, why is it taking us this long to do something that simple of, hey, you have defense moves, we're going to have that be a separate bar compared to your attack moves. Also the fatal blow thing that we saw, where having that towards like, okay, my back is against the wall, and now I can't feel like, I don't have to feel like, oh man, I can't beat you. I can get this fatal blow off and kind of flip the matchup and maybe have a chance to beat you.
It's your desperation move.
Even though I might trigger your fatal blow in the process.
Yeah, it's a great catch-up mechanic that they add to the game, but I do like splitting up the resources because it gives you something else to manage. I think it adds another layer of complexity to Mortal Kombat where, I feel like Capcom versus Marvel games, there's just so much going on the screen. Even like Dragon Ball Fighter, like the way you can combo in, your secondary third. I don't know what third area would be.
Third area.
There's a word for it.
Your thrice.
Your additional fighters for extra fun moves.
Tertiary.
I was thinking tertiary. Wow, I'm so pissed I didn't pull the trigger.
Did you look it up or did you?
No, I had to pull it somewhere out of the back of my mind, but it was there.
Point being, like there was other games had something special. Mortal Kombat had gore, and it had beautiful ways to murder people. And for the longest time,
does.
It still does.
Yeah.
But now, and in this resource management system to change up the way it was played, I'm all in on this. I think that adds a whole lot of fun.
And like you said, the great thing about 10 was that story, where it's going to be a fighting game, but we're going to add a story into that game that you're going to care about. And the only thing I was upset about is that Mortal Kombat might have actually spoiled some things and let us know that Reptile will be back.
Yeah, they don't messed up on a press release.
Supposed to know that going into it.
I mean, any character anybody cares about, of course, is going to be there.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're not going to not
really
give
the
people
big,
the characters they
big
want.
ones were like, out of like the ninja ones, it's Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah,
well, because those are the best too.
Yeah, I don't know many. I'm sure there's
Smoke,
Reptile fans out there.
Reptile.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's Smoke fans out there, but
No,
really it's
there
Sub-Zero and
aren't.
Scorpion.
Not really.
There's like 2 guys out there.
Did you guys have a side, either Sub-Zero or Scorpion? Which one you
absolutely.
preferred?
I loved both those guys.
I love them both, but I was absolutely a Scorpion guy.
Okay.
I mean, Scorpion's more badass.
Because I was a Sub-Zero.
He rips off the mask, got the skull, he breathes fire, he's got to get over here line.
Because I was always a Sub-Zero guy.
They're both cool.
My brother was Sub-Zero, that's why I had to go the other way. Had to go the other route. But come on, what's Sub-Zero's cool line? That's right.
He doesn't have a
we gotta get over here.
Yeah, get over here.
Iconic.
Cool.
It's iconic, Mark. Like it's to the next tier. So yeah, hyped. A little bit hyped. And I think we need to go down and kind of relax a little bit, Ricky. You had something you want to talk about to send us off today.
Yeah.
That's your thoughts and your wrap up on Red Dead Redemption. Let's go out on a high note.
Which is hilarious, I think, too, because like, we started...
Yeah, we both bought it.
The 2 of us loved it. Neither one of us finished this game.
Both of you guys...
We forced him to buy it.
Yep.
He was the one
it's
that
beautiful
finished
gameplay.
Not just bought it, I bought the
storytelling.
collector's edition.
Yep.
So I got
Which is totally unnecessary.
Apparently there's some like extra gang hideout I can find and something else, and I got a little map that I could hang up on my wall if I wanted to.
All the games came with the map, I think.
Yeah.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing that I am upset about is my own doing. It's my own fault. I made the wrong choice at the end.
And what would that be?
Well, that's why you save. Save multiple times.
Like
just go back and play it again.
Nope. I watched the other ending. So
what did you choose that you feel like was the wrong answer?
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the way,
Dead.
you know.
And I'll put up on the screen huge spoilers so you can mute and just hit the.
Although if you haven't beat the game by
it's
now.
the end of the podcast, so I mean, you can probably just.
So the last mission, you're escaping with John. They shoot your horse, which for me very emotional because I did the stranger mission with it's called the Veteran.
Yeah.
And the last thing he wanted you to do was take his horse Buell. So I had Buell. And Buell dies. And like Arthur goes over and like, you're a good boy.
Of course. That's a good horse. That's a good boy.
And he like, it was like an emotional goodbye. Well, you get a choice.
It was an emotional, you're a good boy.
You get a choice. Do you help John escape or do you go back for the money?
Yeah.
And my thought process was, no, you're going to live no matter what I choose. I'm going to go get that money. I'm getting that money for us because I'm going to survive this.
I think that's a good choice.
You're going to go get that money. Like, I'm getting that money. Well, I went back. I get the money. I go to walk out of the cave. Micah jumps me. We have a huge, like, knife fight, fist fight. Dutch comes in, and basically it ends with you're laying there dead while the whole camp and forest is burning around you.
Cool.
Micah walks off with the money. Dutch just walks off in general because he's Dutch and I fucking hate him. Or I could have chose to go and save John, fought Micah up on a cliff top. Dutch comes and does Dutchy things, I guess. But the point is, Micah would have walked off without the money and I would have died in front of the sunset like Arthur, I guess, always wanted. And I just felt like I made the wrong choice. But it all
You got a bad ending.
But in the end, it totally redeemed itself because in the epilogue, which I'll be honest, playing the epilogue, I'm like, all right, this could just be the beginning of the third game. Like, this could just be the beginning of a third game where you play with John Marston.
Like 10 years from now?
Exactly. And that's it. They time jump. It
it took 10 years for this one to come out.
It was so satisfying. So satisfying to kill Micah in the end. Have Dutch shoot him, and then you Deadeye and pop, 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 pop. Yeah. I just right in the head, like, it was so satisfying. So, I mean, yeah, I got my thing, but I was like, I should have went and saved John and got the good ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should have. It reminds me a little bit of, and I'm trying to look up to remember exactly which game it was. I thought it was Fable. 2 with
Fable
the dog
was great.
But anyways, you get this. Oh, yeah, it is. In Fable 2, you have your dog, and your dog dies at one point. And I think your family dies too at another point. But you get a choice who you want to bring back, and of course everyone brings back the dog because they're like, "Fuck the family! I can make another one of those. I want my dog." I don't remember if it was the family or not. I just know that there was the choice to bring back your dog. The other thing might have been money or something like that. But of course you picked the dog.
Yeah, of course you would.
Well, the thing I was all scared about was I had to look it up because the mission where I got tuberculosis. Yep. So before that, I had passed a guy on a horse and he fell off and was bleeding. And I picked him up and he died. And of course, someone thought I killed him.
Yep. You're holding
and
the
then
body.
I get sick. I went into Saint Denis and I get sick. And it's like, did that motherfucker get me sick? Is it like, and I'm like, I'm looking online. I'm like, I'm like, okay. It's a different character that gave me tuberculosis. It wasn't that. Because I was like, what, did I just run into the random experience to where, now your character has tuberculosis.
That'd be cool.
And he's going to die anyways. But in that mission, I figured out I got a good ending with that.
Good job.
To where if you got the bad ending, you'd see a wolf.
Yep.
If you had low honor, you'd see a wolf. If you had high honor, like I did, you'd see an elk in his dream. And the voice lines were different as well. And that's the thing I will say I really like about that game.
Yeah.
Where not only are there things in there I'm never going to see, but you can look for different things. Like the incest family that was weird. The Klan's family. The one where I found that slave owner that I ended up killing. Yeah. Or like something like this, where it's like, oh, if I had high honor, I'm going to get this. If I had low honor, I'm never going to know what that was until I go and find it.
True.
Yep.
True. So, all in all, the playthrough experience, are you happy we pressured you into Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, no, it was a good game.
And what's the hour count at?
I didn't
Ballpark
care.
it.
I don't know. I literally don't know.
Wow.
I didn't pay attention to it.
Okay.
Because I was just gonna focus in it, and I'm right now just doing going down the checklist of 100%ing. Because I mean, if I can platinum it,
2 days.
What?
You've got 2 days. Shit, 1 day.
Yeah, and then
Kingdom Hearts 3.
But the thing I like about
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Although let's be real, we're recording the on-site kick on Tuesday. You're not going to.
Oh no, Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be the first day I get to play it.
Oh, okay.
But
and it'll be great because you won't want to go outside. It'll be negative.
You might. Exactly. Yeah, you might not have work even.
Yeah.
If I don't have school on Wednesday, I'm doing an all-day stream. Maybe.
Hyped.
Or maybe. Don't get too excited about that. Make sure you're going to be able to stream it. Because remember when I was like, right. I'm going to stream Persona 5 all day because I had the day off, and then first 20 minutes after that, scene blocked. The rest of the game is blocked.
Watch my Twitter. Watch my Twitter.
We'll see.
I'll keep you highlighted.
And we'll be talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 next week.
I remember I watched that at work. I was like, hey, Mark, it's not showing anything, right?
Well, I kept imagining, like, it's going to come back, like, 40 minutes later.
It didn't come back
yet.
It never came back.
Let's figure this out.
Well, they blocked it.
They blocked the whole game except for the very beginning.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's pretty evil.
Yep, so you couldn't stream it. You had to stream it, like, through your computer or something like that.
Pretty evil on their part. I'm sure that won't be a problem for Kingdom Hearts because it's already out in Japan and internationally. So
was Persona 5.
Really?
Out for like 3-4 months before it came out in the US.
That's terrible.
Right?
Well, they're terrible people who make a great game.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
On that note, we will have for you some Kingdom Hearts 3 this next week. Can't wait to talk. Can't wait to watch some more. I've already watched a lot. It's great, Rick. You're gonna love it.
I know I'm gonna love it. Like I have no worries.
You're not gonna be let down
at
all. The music is.
I secretly hope you're gonna be really disappointed.
Yep.
Don't you put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
And on that note, we will be done for the day. Wrap up. It was a long episode. We're at about an hour 15 almost.
I like this one. This was a good episode.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did being here talking about video games. We'll be back next week. Like I said, Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe we'll talk a little Resident Evil since 2 dropped and I've been watching it. Looks like a fun game.
I was this close to pre-ordering both of them, but I did not want to spend the money on Resident Evil 2.
Good choice.
We'll see. It's got some fun, toggle play options. We'll talk about that maybe later. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll catch you next time.